Welcome to FYI, coming to you live from Studio 67 right here on our beautiful Nash Community College campus. I'm Angie Bennett, and this is a show to tell us about what's happening at Nash Community College. Let's get started. Phyllis Stiles was on campus November 22nd. She gave a presentation about the plant and pollinator relationship that supports the reproduction of nearly 90% of the world's flowering plant species. With special emphasis on native bees, Stiles explained why pollinators are declining and how each of us can help reverse those trends. Here's a short clip of her presentation.
I titled this "Flowers Are Beloved," and they truly are, and I hope you'll go away with it. If you don't remember anything else about what I have to say today, I hope you remember that flowers are beloved. So how in the world did I get interested in bees, and why did so many other people get interested in pollinators? Many of you will recall back in 2007 when the alarm bell started ringing because something that they named, they didn't even have a name for it, called colony collapse disorder, CCD, appeared in all the headlines, and it was amazing. All the different kind of media were talking about it. Beekeepers were coming out to check on their hives after the winter had passed, and it was time for the bees to start rebuilding in the spring, but they were finding empty hives. They weren't finding dead bees, they were finding empty hives, virtually empty. The queens were there, maybe some brood was there, but the worker bees had mysteriously disappeared. And so Penn State, their bee lab there, coined the term colony collapse disorder, and we have been talking about nothing but ever since. By 2012, we had conceived this thing called Bee City USA. I conceived it because I was so concerned about the pollinators and what it would mean to the world if we lost our pollinators. And so we have a thing called Pollination Celebration every summer during National Pollinator Week. And these are the Fairykin bee stilt walkers doing a lovely program about the bees. So today we have 100 certified cities all across the country, some large, some small. Washington, D.C. is one of our certified cities, San Francisco, Seattle. But you can see we have an awful lot in North Carolina where we started, which is very gratifying.
On November 18th, Nash Community College was pleased to announce the achievement of employees from Johnston, Franklin, Warren, and Nash County Sheriff's Offices who recently completed detention officer training. It was governed by the North Carolina Sheriff's Educational, Criminal Justice Educational, and Training Standards Commission. The certification course includes 178 hours of instruction designed to train qualified participants to work as officers in detention facilities. On November 21st, the NCC Global Scholars and Student Government co-hosted the NCC International Festival. This event was celebrating the diverse countries and cultural identities of Nash Community College. There were sponsor booths with educational information, activities, pictures, and food. Festival activities were introduced to a variety of countries, regions, or cultures in order to increase cultural knowledge and global fluency about our NCC community. Nash Community College and Debbie's Fund for Bounty and Barrel was held November 14th. The Bounty and Barrel began with an educational wine pairing that was provided by owner Inez Ribostello. During the event, Debbie's handcrafted pottery creations were available as part of the silent auction held in support of Debbie's Fund and Nash Community College's Culinary Arts program. Well, that'll do it for this week's Weekly Rewind. Coming up next, broadcast production student Mike Edwards did some interviews around Nash Community College for Thanksgiving. Let's take a look at those now.
Hi, Ms. Martinez. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm going to ask you some trivia questions about Thanksgiving. I'm going to see if you can get them right.
Okay.
What is the skin, the red flap on the bottom of a turkey's neck called?
It's called a snod.
A snod.
A snod. I think that's what it's called.
I was always told it was a waddle.
That is the layman's term for it.
The layman's term.
Okay.
What is the wobbly red piece under the beak of a turkey called?
Is it The gizzard? No, the gobbler.
Waddle. Waddle. Funny enough, the gizzards are the insides,
Yeah, I
the
know.
stomach and the intestines and all that. Yeah. What's the furthest you've traveled for Thanksgiving?
Like 20 minutes away.
That's it? Really? Only 20 minutes? All right. What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten at Thanksgiving?
I've never eaten anything like weird. It's just normal stuff. Yeah. So
Nothing, no outrageous recipes, nothing like that? Oh, man. What's the furthest you've ever traveled for Thanksgiving?
Hours or miles?
Either one.
Either one. Probably about 2 hours.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Could be worse. I do about the same every year. Do you have a favorite Thanksgiving memory?
It's always just being with my family around the kitchen table laughing and being thankful for that day.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten at Thanksgiving?
It would probably be eggs and ham together.
Do you think turkeys can fly?
Yeah.
They can't. They can't. They're flightless. Yes.
That's my look. Homeless sheep.
All right. So, Isaac, sweet potatoes or yams, is there a difference? And which one's superior?
There is a difference. It's the name. But otherwise from that, there's no difference.
You're the first person who's actually said that.
Oh,
There is a difference, by the way.
there is?
There is.
Oh, what is the main difference?
Yams are candied. Sweet potatoes aren't, are they? I'm genuinely asking you.
Who do you think you are?
If you could have one type of pie on Thanksgiving, what would it be?
Shoot. Probably pumpkin pie.
It's a good choice.
Welcome back to FYI. Here's a look at what's coming up at Nash Community College. The Student Nurses Association will hold a yard sale on Saturday, November 23rd from 7 a.m. until noon in front of the NCC Business and Industry Center. Donated items for the yard sale may be dropped off at Tina Trash's office located in Building D, room 4117. All proceeds from the event will benefit the Student Nurses Association. For more information, you can email jnedwards895@st.nashcc.edu. Thanksgiving isn't the only holiday next week. On Tuesday, November 26th, from 11 to 3, we will celebrate another Taco Tuesday. That means you can get a soft-shell taco for just $1 in the Midway Cafe while supplies last. Enjoy. Just a reminder, there will be no curriculum classes on Wednesday, November 27th. Nash Community College will be closed on November 28th and 29th for the Thanksgiving break. Speaking of Thanksgiving, we thought everyone could use some holiday cooking tips. So here's some clips with Chef Carlo and Drew talking about how to select and properly thaw a turkey.
Hi, I'm Andrew Small, executive producer here at Studio 67 on the campus of Nash Community College, and with me is my dear friend and colleague, Chef Carlo Quagliaroli, with the culinary department. Chef, we're going to talk turkey. How are you?
Gobble, gobble. Good morning. How you
Gobble,
doing?
gobble, good morning. Well, first thing I want to ask is, how do I know what size turkey I need to get?
It will boil down to how many people you have and if the turkey is going to be the main centerpiece of your meal. Some people, they have a lot of sides and they have not only the turkey, they might have a pig roast or God knows what. But if the turkey is the main center of your meal, you should calculate 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of raw turkey on the bone for each of your guests.
What about leftovers?
But hopefully they won't eat the whole thing. There'll be leftovers.
Hopefully you got enough that you can feed everybody to still have leftovers chicken sandwiches.
1.5 pounds to 2 pounds it's taking into consideration there's going to be shrinkage, it's going to cook down, and leftovers for the next morning breakfast. You can always do sandwiches and so many other things that are amazing with the leftovers.
So I'm at the store, I'm looking at turkeys to buy. I kind of know what poundage I'm looking for depending on my guest. Now there's all kinds of labels on these things. I've got free range, I've got cage free, I've got no hormones. What does that all mean?
Okay, let's mention them one by one. Cage free. Cage free means that the turkey is not into a cage. They're allowed to roam like this. It's actually not true. Free roaming means that they're not confined into a cage, but they can be confined in a building, and they're allowed to like walk around. Unfortunately, they are shoved by the thousand in there, and they might have probably about a couple of square feet to move around. Cage-free means that somewhere in the building there is a door that opens and they're allowed to go out, but that doesn't mean that they go out. So unfortunately, they are all confined, and of course, there's going to be feces, and they're going to be walking on top of that.
It's no different with chicken, right? It's the
so
same thing.
Unfortunately, you think it means this, but it really means that they're not closed in a cage, but the conditions are not the best.
What about hormone-free?
Well, USDA says they cannot have hormones at all. So whenever you see the hormone-free, it's just don't worry about it. They're not allowed to give growth hormones anyhow to any poultry in the U.S. So it's a gimmick for selling you something that it's already that.
Right. So all poultry is hormone free.
All poultry has to be.
It's just another selling element. Like this one, raised without hormones.
They all have to do it. It's the USDA law. No poultry in the U.S. has to be given growth hormones.
Now you mentioned to me yesterday something that I didn't know: air-chilled turkey. What is air-chilled turkey?
Air-chilled turkey. It falls when the poultry is butchered. It has to be rapidly cooled off, so if there's any kind of bacteria, it will not proliferate quickly. Air chill means that instead of being cooled in an ice bath of water or chilled water, is actually taken into a room where there is air that circulates at 26 degrees Fahrenheit, so it cools faster. What that means is you're going to have a drier skin and a drier meat. Of course, then you can do your brining if you want or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it will create the crispier skin.
Gotcha. Finally, since we're almost out of time, what temperature, how long? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Let's get back to this. When should I defrost my bird?
That is very important. A lot of people buy their frozen turkey a day before Thanksgiving, and then they end up having waffles for Thanksgiving because the turkey is not defrosted. You need to understand, if you buy a 25-pound turkey, it's 25 pounds of water that needs to be defrosted. It doesn't happen overnight, especially when you have to thaw in the refrigerator. Here is a very simple guide. If you have a 24-pound bird, move it to the fridge the Friday before Thanksgiving.
That's
Trust
like
me.
almost a whole week.
Almost a whole week. It will slowly thaw out. And I don't want to hear that you thaw out in the sink or you thaw out in the garage.
No.
No, we're not there. These are the USDA guidelines. If you have a 16, 20-pound bird, move it to the fridge Saturday before Thanksgiving. 12 to 16 pounds, Sunday before Thanksgiving, and 4 to 12 pounds, Monday before Thanksgiving. That way, the bird is going to be defrosted at least the day before if you want to season it and do all the things you want to do to it.
That's great, great tips. Finally, how long do I cook it and at what temperature?
Very simple. I'm going to give you the best guideline for turkey. I know there's people that cook it for 12 hours at low temperature, at 1,500 degrees for 3 seconds. This is very simple. Listen, I'm going to give you a nice ratio.
That's great. I was just imagining this turkey go.
Like, listen, for every 10 pounds of turkey, 325 degrees, 3 hours. Done. Keep that in mind. Do the math from there. 10 pounds, 325 degrees, 3 hours. And the tip that I usually give, I start my bird, if it's going to cook for 3 hours, breast side down, and the last half an hour, I put the breast side back up so the skin can actually crisp out.
Fantastic. Enjoy your holiday, Chef. It's always great to see you.
Thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure. Have a great day.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Gobble, gobble.
Thank you for joining us for this week's FYI. Tune in every Friday at 10 a.m. to see what's coming up at Nash Community College, except next Friday because we're going to be closed. That's it. My name is Angie Bennett, and remember, kindness matters.